Okay, just a quick recap of our last game. I thought our defense did some good things. I think we played a solid game. The thing that stands out is getting the turnovers in the red zone. That was really big. We focused on that. Offensively had a lot of yards, but it didn't equate to points. 13 points is not good enough to win. We've got to start scoring in the red zone. But overall, we did some good things in the game. You look at the big picture now, we're halfway through the season. We went 3-3 in the first half. It's a new half. It's a new start, and that's the way we're looking at it. We're playing a top 10 team in the country right now, Iowa State. You watch them on film, very impressed in all three phases. Their head coach is one of the better head coaches in the country. You look at their defense, they're number 5 in the country, I think, in points. They play an odd front, similar to what we saw last week. They have a lot of veteran guys. I mean, when you look at their roster, a lot of these guys have played a lot of football. They know their answers. Their run fits are very impressive, and they're a physical team offensively. They control the clock. They do a good job with their run. Their quarterback is very, very efficient. And they got 2 receivers that both, I think, have 500 yards. So really a well-balanced offense. So, it's an opportunity for us. We're looking forward to going and playing one of the better teams in the country in their home field. I know it's going to be a good environment, and so we're looking forward to playing them. Questions?
Coach, I know you went with a hot hand on Saturday with Ja'Cory Brown. Is that the plan going forward? Is he your starter this week, or is that to be determined?
Yeah, we're still working through it, but he'll be the first to take snaps with the first team tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes moving forward. But I was real pleased with the way he responded. The moment wasn't too big for him. He, for the first time, really out in real action. Those other 2 times were just kind of mop up. I thought he did some really good things. He gave a spark to our offense. EJ, I thought, did some good things for his first rodeo too. But Brown will be the first to take snaps tomorrow.
So when you say first, that means you're going to play 2 quarterbacks? And
we'll see.
Okay.
All I can tell you right now is he'll be the first to take the snaps tomorrow in practice.
Does KJ Jefferson still have a role?
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Moving forward right now, like I said, Brown will be the first to take snaps.
Gosh, you guys, obviously in the middle of a 3-game losing streak. How do you avoid losing the locker room? How do you avoid maybe these guys turning on each other?
Well, I think it starts with our players. We've got a veteran group of really good leadership. They came out and practiced extremely hard last night. We've got a staff that's very close. And so we'll keep fighting. And the thing about our guys, they fought hard, and we made a few mistakes that were critical at times, but our guys, they'll continue to fight hard.
Coach, this is 2 games back-to-back where the offense has failed to score a touchdown in the first half. Multiple issues, turnovers, red zone struggles. What needs to change?
Well, we had a little more life to us. I think everybody could see that. We had 400 yards offense, I think, and we had the 2 turnovers, obviously, that I think we were on the 21-yard line the first drive. I mean, if you score there, I think it's probably at least a different feel for the game. And then we fumbled on the 5. Got down there, we kicked 2 field goals short. That's kind of been our Achilles heel. I know I've been talking about that for, some time. But that's what's got to improve. But we did with Brown playing quarterback. You can see we had a little more life to our offense. We put the ball vertically down the field, and I think he did some good things for his first rodeo.
Back to quarterback, you've been bullish on KJ Jefferson. Going into Cincinnati week, what was it about EJ Colson, and where was he on the depth chart?
EJ's been practicing extremely well for 3 to 4 weeks, and he's a natural guy. He's a true freshman. Obviously, he's young, and he'll be growing, but he's a really talented guy. So that's what happened probably the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Are you comfortable with the 2 quarterbacks?
We're going to do whatever it takes for us to try to win games. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. Like I said, Brown will be the first to take snaps tomorrow.
Coach, the second year in a row we started off with 3 wins and now 3 losses. Do you think maybe the non-conference schedule been a little bit weak, or starting the season off a little bit with lesser opponents kind of gives a false identity to the team, or maybe hide a few deficiencies that you see a little bit later in the season?
No, I mean, I think Sam Houston's playing pretty good football right now. I mean, obviously when you play your conference opponents and you play Florida, that's a different deal. Like I said, we just need to keep growing, and we need to find ways, like I talked about, to score touchdowns. And so, I think we're in a good spot for the second half to do that.
as it pertains to the quarterback situation, do you consider eligibility as a part of the equation? You considering that you had Castellanos a couple of years ago where he had to play and burn it
Yeah.
at the end of the season?
Well, I think we're in a new age of college football. I think you got to be, aware of everything that goes with that. Obviously, we learned a few things, the last few years with that, but we'll monitor that as we go.
Coach, Kobe Hudson has handled a majority of the passing game this season. Is the plan to keep feeding him, or can we expect to see other?
Yeah, it's best case for us is other people get involved. There's no doubt, to be more balanced and all that, and so we'll keep working towards that. And pushing the ball down the field, giving our guys opportunities down the field.
Coach, you mentioned the red zone struggles. What have you seen the last couple of weeks that have, is it play calling? Is it just the execution when it gets in the red zone? What have you seen?
Yeah. There's a little of both. Anytime you can't get in the red zone, you got to evaluate everything, whether it's play calling, whether it's scheme, whether it's who's touching the ball, and we're doing that. And that's really been our biggest focus. There's two things going into this week that we've really focused on, and it is red zone offense and it's third down defense. Last week we focused extremely hard on, red zone defense, and we improved. So that's been the focus, and those are the two areas that we need to improve on the most, and that's what we'll spend the majority of our practice time this week on.
EJ became the youngest quarterback to start a game since 1973. What do you see his role advancing through this season and beyond?
Yeah, well, he's a really good quarterback, and he's been practicing extremely well, and he's got a lot of natural attributes, the makings of a really good quarterback. So he'll keep working and keep doing what he can to help our team.
Coach, have you saved some of the playbook, new plays for the second half, or has it been open? Can you tailor it a little more?
Yeah, we're going to tailor it around our quarterbacks and their strengths, and we did that for KJ. Obviously, we got two other quarterbacks with different kind of strengths, and so we'll definitely do that. So yeah, you'll definitely see some new things. That's probably the best way to put it.
What's the situation at center right now? I know Caden Killer was there. I think
Yeah.
you said he got banged up at Florida.
Yeah.
Kenny came in there, and then you started Marcellus's pass game. What's the situation
Yeah,
there?
Kenny, he came in and against Florida, we had a couple issues with not snapping on time. Marcellus has got the majority of the rotating with the ones during the during the off season and fall camp and all that. So we just made the decision to give him a full week. He did some solid things with that. Hopefully we'll have Kittler back. Obviously having our starter back would definitely help. He practiced last night. We'll see how he progresses. He was a little banged up. He's a tough guy, and he fought through. Probably not even 100% healthy, for a game or two before that. But it would be nice to get him back.
Coach, at the start of this, you said you want to focus on this as kind of like a second half of the season as a restart. What is it going to take for you guys to have a successful second half and especially get back in that winning?
Yeah, it's about winning football games. I mean, we did some good things. Unfortunately, we didn't score enough points, but we did some good things if you take away from getting beat. If you look at it big picture. So we need to win football games. And, obviously this week we're playing one of the better teams in college football, one of the hottest teams on their home field, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
Coach, game plan wise or play calling wise, are you making any changes, maybe get some other weapons involved, maybe from the tight end position like Randy Pittman or maybe some of those other guys that play wide receiver for you?
Yeah, I think anytime you don't score points like we have the last 3 games, we got to look at everything and look at what we're doing, who's getting the ball, who's not getting the ball, and giving our guys the best chance of scoring points, and that's what we're doing.
Gus, I know you say you haven't made a decision yet on quarterback, but if it is going to be EJ or Jacory going on the road at a tough environment at Iowa State against a top 10 team, what do you have to tell those young guys, when they're out there? I mean, to kind of maybe settle the nerves. It's great to start at home when you've got a home crowd, but to be in front of an environment like that, what would be some of the things you maybe want to get them ready, prepared for something?
Yeah, I think the noise more than anything during the practices, the noise, try to simulate everything. I know from here, and I've never been there before, but the people I've talked to, it's right on top of you. They're loud and all that, and so handling the noise, we didn't do a great job of that, against Florida. Some of it had to do, our center went down, but we got to do a good job.
Coach, as a head coach, what keeps you motivated and confident that in the midst of this adversity, 3-game losing streak and a tough opponent next week, that things can't turn around with this?
Well, I believe in our players. I believe in our players and believe in our coaches. And like I said, we got to win football games, and so I really expect us to have a really good second half of the season.
Earlier this year, you talked about taking play calling back. At what point is it maybe too much to handle? You talked earlier, a season ago, about handing off some responsibilities. Is it too much for you at this point, all of these
Well,
things?
I mean, I think, like we said, anytime you do not score points, you know, in the 20s or whatever, 3 games in a row, we got to solve that. And now we have another quarterback. Like I said, it'll be a little bit different than it has been with that. But we'll do whatever we have to do to win games and be successful.
Coach, it seemed like you guys were able to get more pressure on the quarterback
Yeah.
last week. How important is that to having a successful
That was another focus that we talked about, third down and affecting the quarterback. I thought our defensive line, we blitzed a little bit more with our linebackers. We got him off his spot a few times. It helped with the turnovers. You know, both of those turnovers helped with the pressure. They go together. But you know, our guys did a good job getting to him. We're gonna have to do the same thing. Now this is a different offense. You know, they do a good job. They're a downhill offense, and they do a good job efficiently with their passing game too. And so we're gonna have to continue that.
Tim and Jakari were in the same spot last year. How much does that familiarity maybe speed up the process of what he was able to do since he got here?
Say that again.
Tim Harris and
Yeah.
Jakari were both in the same spot
Yeah.
last year. How much has that been able to kind of speed things up since he came here, you know, after the spring?
Yeah, you know, of course, he is one of the main reasons he's here, with that familiarity and everything that goes with that. And Tim's doing a really good job, and you know, so we're excited to see what he can do.
Archer's been forced to break tackles in the backfield to just get a few yards. What do you have to do to help him avoid some of the contact in the backfield?
Yeah, I mean, people are going to key on him, but still, we have to be creative with the ways we get him the football, and so he can have some open areas to create one-on-one situations. And obviously, in the backfield, having to make people miss, we've got to do a better job in that area.
Coach, I guess 2 weeks ago versus Florida, it seemed like you traveled a bit more of the younger players. Is that still the plan going into Iowa State this week, or the roster maybe changed a little bit?
Yeah, if you've seen, we played our younger guys a whole lot more in special teams. I mean, the guys are really coming on and really giving our team some life too. So we got some talented guys that you'll see on the field more and more, you know, the second half of the season.
Iowa State's one of the surprise teams in the Big 12 this year. They're coming off a big win at West Virginia. Just what kind of, are there any players or personnel that stands out about the Cyclones?
Yeah, on defense, they got some real players that played in that system a long time, and you know, Matt's coordinators have been with him the whole time. You can tell that they're all on the same page, and they've been playing that defense a long time. And offensively, they do a great job, you know, with their run game. They're very physical up front. Their quarterback, he's very, very efficient. He's a playmaker, and like I said, they got 2 receivers that when you turn the film on, you know, they jump off the film. So they don't beat themselves. You know, they don't have a lot of penalties. They don't turn the ball over, and you got to play good football. And so it'll be a good challenge for our team.
Last one.
Yeah, their Cincinnati's defensive coordinator, Tyson White, came from Iowa State. So is it seeing similar tendencies as you did a week ago in game planning, considering that, you know, he came from Iowa State the year before?
There's some similarities, but you can tell a difference that, you know, this is the original, and they have all the bells and whistles that go with it. It was a little bit, you know, you can tell it was a first year of a program, which, you know, hats off to them. They did a good job, but they have all the bells and whistles that go with it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.